in that for you?
Oh, yeah, it looks great, buddy. Beautiful car, by the way. I like that interior.
Oh, appreciate it.
So
Yeah,
I
I'm on
got to
my way up to
ask you.
Montreal, so I
Oh, okay.
figure I might as well get this in.
Did you have a chance to watch Gaethje versus Cowboy?
Yes, sir.
What'd you
Yeah, I
What'd you
stopped. I
think?
pulled over on the side to watch that one. I had to pay attention to it for sure.
So what'd you think of that? And what happened at the end there, by the way? What was Gaethje yelling at? Was he yelling at Cowboy or was he yelling at the referee?
I think he was yelling at the ref. I think he didn't want to hit him no more. Cowboy is one of those guys that you just got to give respect just because of who he is, just right off the bat. And I think he knew that he was hitting Cowboy really hard with those overhand rights. He landed a couple of them throughout the fight. And he's got Coach Whitman in his corner. Whitman told him everything perfect what to do. And I think once he saw it working, he just knew that there was no way that Cowboy was going to fight his way back in, and why let him take any more unnecessary damage.
Yeah, that's kind of how I saw it too. Would you agree? And I just watched this, by the way. I don't know the numbers on this, but it looked to me as though Gaethje was kind of controlling the kick game, landing more leg kicks,
Yeah.
and Cowboy was landing the boxing punches. Is that basically what we had? We had a dirty little kickboxing match for a couple minutes.
Yeah, I think so. I think that Gaethje's coach came up with a really good game plan. They were saying bang the body, and then that's going to set up that overhand right. And those leg kicks, like you say, he was winning the kick game for sure. But I think it was the right hand that really got it done. And I think it was because of the game plan that they set up based off the kicks. This is 2019. Now you got to be able to do it all. And he really put it all together. He was winning the kick game, and then he got it done with the hands too. So Gaethje is one of those dudes, you got to keep your eye on. He's got a good team around him. He's going to be here for a minute.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. And he's a tough guy. I mean, above everything else, he's just tough. He brings his skills.
Yeah.
He goes out there and competes. And that may sound simple, Kev, but as you know, as a competitor, that's a real thing. A guy that can
Yeah.
turn it on every single time he needs to turn it on, going to go a long way.
Yeah, and I think if you would have asked anybody before this fight too, they're both so tough, him and Cowboy, that it was really going to come down to the skills and who put together the better game plan. And you could just tell Gaethje did it a little bit better. He put his skills to more use. He didn't just try and rely just straight on his toughness to get it done. And from Gaethje, look, I'm a competitor, and I'm talking about moving back down to 155 in that weight class, and he's going to be somebody I got to keep my eye on. He's the reason why, as soon as I got done with that fight, I had to hop back on the road because I can't miss practice on Monday, getting ready for dudes like that.
Yeah, I respect that very much. And let me ask you this. Where do you think Gaethje goes from here? And the reason I ask that, there was a dialogue going into this fight, and I don't know how hot this actually was, but that the winner of this contest would be likely in the Conor McGregor sweepstakes. Do you have a better idea for Justin Gaethje, or do you like the Conor fight?
No, I think that makes sense. I think it all is going to depend on when Conor is talking about fighting. But that makes sense. It's him and Conor would be a good fight. I think they both answer a lot of questions for each other. So I think if they can get that done within the beginning of next year, then I guess good on him. Hopefully he makes some money. Hopefully he do it right, and hopefully he go ahead and put Conor out of his misery, and he makes it a good fight for all of us.
All right, tell me this: did you watch the co-main event? Did you watch Nikita versus Glover? What'd you think?
I did. I mean, I think Glover's just a little too one dimensional at this point. I think. It was a good fight though. It was a
Kevin,
good fight.
Did
The
they
one
score,
that I really
did they
liked
score the fight
that
correctly?
I'm glad that the judges even got right was that Uriah Hall fight earlier in the night. I think they made the right call on that, and a lot of times people don't really give judges any praise. We always just talk bad about them. But I think Antonio was just trying to hold him in that last round, and the judges was kind of on point tonight. So I tip my hat to that more than anything.
All right, yeah, and I was going to ask you about that fight. I thought that was a great fight too. I get a little nervous when I'm watching Uriah Hall fight. We got a history together, and I knew Antonio was well. That was a hard fight, and that's what the judges saw. They saw a good hard fight, but I agree with you. I think they got it right.
Yeah, it's like one of those little unspoken rules. There's rules that you can't break that'll get you disqualified, and then there's rules that just ain't gonna let you win the fight. And even if you're in a dominant position like how he had in the third round, I don't see that as you're just holding the guy. I think we need to move the sport away from that and kind of you got to be looking to finish at all times. And I think Uriah scored more damage, and he actually won the actual fight, even if he might have lost some positions here and there.
All right, so tell me what's up with you. I follow the internet. I know there's some talk between you and
Yeah.
Islam, and I know Gregor got involved a little bit and had an idea of you guys get together at Madison Square Garden. Is either one of those likely?
I like both of those, to be honest with you. And those was the two that I put on the table. To go over to Russia and fight Islam, it's something there for me. He won that last fight and did it impressively. Against a guy who's really good on the ground. And Gregor, he's the top wrestlers in the sport. So to go out there and compete, I mean, I want to compete with either one of them. That's the bottom line for me. I just want to fight. So I saw the Khabib and Poirier fight. It made me want to fight him. I tell you that.
And that was one of the things I wanted to ask you. I mean, just to get some clarity, have you made your mind up and you are going to 55, or is there still a chance it could be 70 and you want to hear some option? Where are you at on that? It sounds to me like you're going back to lightweight.
Yeah, after seeing that Khabib fight, I did an interview with Ariel right before that fight happened, and I wasn't really interested in it, but in going back down to lightweight. But after seeing that fight and seeing how dominant he was, and he kind of woke me up a little bit, and he returned my focus back to lightweight. I think Islam's going to be the one.
All right, cool. So Kevin, and speaking of welterweight though, and speaking of Madison Square Garden, where do you stand as a fan? Do you like Masvidal versus Diaz? Is that exciting?
Yeah, it's a good fight. I mean, of course, you got two of the title that they're fighting for and all that. Like that really don't make a whole lot of sense to me. But it's what the people want, and that's the people's fight. I don't necessarily think they need a title on the line in order to put that one up. It's just a great fight anyway. It's just one of them fights. Like if they was fighting down the street, and I had to run 10 blocks to get there to see it, I'm gonna run as fast as I can to make sure I don't miss it. So it's definitely a fight. I would probably, I will hop on a plane and go over to Madison Square Garden and watch it for sure.
Well, that's awesome. I'll see you there, buddy. You're headed to Montreal, I think you said. I assume that's to train with Faraz?
Yeah, I'm starting. I know you don't like the word training camp. I know this already, but I'm just going up there and I'm training. Let's just say
Good
that
man.
I'm training for 6 weeks. 6 weeks straight. Spend a lot of time one-on-one with the guy and get him to give me some tips and tricks going into my next fight.
Well, you're in good hands with him. By the way, have you got a hold of GSP yet? Have you guys been in the same room and got to feel each other?
Yeah, he showed me the town. I did a little test run and went up to Montreal for 2 weeks. Me and him hung out a couple times. He showed me the town a little bit. We cool people. So
all right, but you didn't get a roll with him.
Yeah, we all good. And if he is actually serious of talking about fighting Khabib, I've already reached out to him and told him, I know a lot of tips and tricks getting ready for that one. I've been preparing for Khabib for forever, and George is one of those guys. I really looked up to the guy growing up. So if I can help out and give him some little tips, and it's just as bad as he gonna give me some, then I think this is gonna be a hell of a team, hell of a little matchup. It's like when the superheroes meet each other.
No, I fully agree. I can't wait until you do work out with him, just because I think one thing you'll come away with is how strong his grip, how strong he is. I think he'll have to say the same thing about you, but I'll be curious to talk to you guys after that workout takes place. Anyway, Kevin, drive very careful.
Let me just say, I did work out with him a little bit. He's very efficient, and that's something that I want to steal from him a little bit. I think if there's been one flaw, I ain't never not been competitive in a fight, but I could be. What Connor say? He said I could be a little more efficient with my energy. And yep. I can learn that from George. So this is gonna be a hell of a little matchup.
That's a real thing. Hey, drive careful. I miss you, pal. Thank you.
Always, chill.